We check out the grid, and Brad Sheriff dominated qualifying this morning. He takes pole position alongside Tony Warren. Adam Garwood joins Brody Maher on the second row, with Sam Walter and Alex Williams off row 3. Greg Garwood and Kim Barwick off row 4, and Peter O'Keefe and Damien Roach out of row number 5.
Of course, you got Merrick Maloof, he's P11. Ben Creed out of P12, so a very close qualifying session. Matthew Grace in that little Datsun 1200. He's popped up in 13th. He's a bit of a favourite of mine for this weekend. Les Walken in the Subaru is out of 14.
I passed on your regards yesterday. He smiled. He said, "Send Barks down for me." There's a lot of people love that Datto down there. Nissan power between the wheels. There he is in the background of this shot as we look to your front row here. And these two guys, we only saw 4 laps out of Sheriff's machine this morning, and they decided to park it up. The fear is that this car potentially could run out of fuel in this 12-lap race. It's only a 66-litre tank. It burns a lot of fuel.
It burns a lot of fuel. The boys were talking down the back there, walked around and had a look. They were saying around 900 horsepower with the wick turned right up.
It's crazy. Waiting for a start here. That's a good-looking launch from the front row. In fact, Warren got the better start. The Nissan didn't go nowhere, and young Adam Garwood will capitalise on this and move up to second place, as now the boost winds up in the GDR. He drops back to third place, and everybody looks like they're going to get through turn 1 safely.
The good thing about this Sports GT is there's 3 different classes racing out there at the one time, so whilst you're racing for outright, you're battling for your own little class, and they determine those classes by lap time, so it doesn't really matter what car you've got, that dictates your lap time, dictates which class you're in.
You get 1 warning during this if you break out of your class limit. That's ambitious. They could have snapped sideways and ended up with a sheep in the paddock, couldn't it?
Geez, they're racing for sheep stations here at the moment. For these guys to race at this sort of level, Sam Walter now side by side with the Porsche up through down through the back straight. This is exciting stuff because the cars do move around on those bumps a lot there, and when you're on the outside, as you've got the Porsche down the inside there, and that's Garwood. He's actually done a great job to hang in front of Sam Walter. That little Commodore, he's got plenty of snot, but Warren has bolted.
Garwood, that was Greg Garwood, the father and son combination. His son Adam, a 16-year-old, up there in second position. And our pole man, Brad Sheriff, who went backwards at the start, unless he's trying to make the race exciting towards the end here for that awesome GDR. And a long gap back to the rest of the field as we head down to turn 4, the braking zone, the drop down in the hairpin. So Sheriff is on the back of Garwood, who's had Alex Davison help him out this weekend, a former Asian Cup Championship winning car from 2010.
He's got great power down there. You can see him get out of the hairpin. But Sheriff has just reached down and grabbed the knob. He's turned up the wick on that GDR. Look at it go.
Man, it was squirming during qualifying this morning. And I think he was just playing with us, Barks.
I mean, and to do that on an R-Spec tyre as well would be pretty exciting. There's a good battle going on for 4th place here. But Sheriff, he just reaches down, turns the wick up, and away it goes. Because that 900 horsepower on an R-Spec tyre, he's pretty brave, I've got to tell you.
Will that hurt the tyres if he keeps this pace up?
It certainly does. But towards the end of 12 laps, he'll be looking for everything to turn that thing down because, you know, obviously it's got great drive, it's got good power, good brakes, but the tyre's probably the limiting factor.
Look at that awesome HDT replica further back in the field of Barwick as head down to turn 4. It's only 12 laps, a 2.4-kilometre circuit, so not much time in a race sort of thing here. 55 seconds is the lap for guys at the front. They don't have a class restriction. They can go as fast as they like. The B-class cars out there, look down to guys like Ryan and Matty Grace there in 12th and 13th. They can't go any quicker than 61 seconds around here.
So watching Sam Walter there, it looked like Greg Garwood maybe missed a gear. Probably missed 3rd to 4th, 4th to 5th gear because Sam Walter got a really good run then round the outside and picked up 5th place. So that little battle, you can see there, Sheriff trying to get that Nissan off the line. And Warren has just bolted in the front there.
I wonder if Warren can hold this back or Sheriff's going to wind up the turbo in this and chase him down, get the lead, and then settle into a race rhythm. Warren left him there, didn't he?
Well, as you mentioned, one of the factors here in that Nissan for Sheriff is watching the fuel gauge. So will he make the full 12 laps? He's going to have to manage that because it's not a very big tank and it chews through the juice, that's for sure.
It works out to about 5 litres a lap for 2 kilometres. Not very economical, is it? But it's fun.
It's fun.
Here's that awesome replica.
It'd be almost like bolting yourself to a Scud missile, wouldn't it? And just pulling the trigger and hanging on down the back straight.
Absolutely.
On an R-Spec tyre. Woo!
There's an iconic car we just saw on the screen back there. The Barwick entry. The former HDT livery back in '84. So we watch Walter Being menaced by Brody Marr here. They come around to reel off another lap, but working lap 5 of 12 here at Symmons Plains, the time-powered Tasmania Super Sprint. Qualifying for the V8 still to come after this today. Beautiful conditions outside, complete contrast to yesterday.
And Sam Walter there, he hasn't really raced a lot since he finished the development series and raced at Bathurst in, I think it was 09 in the main game race. So he hasn't really done a lot of racing. The opportunity was here this weekend to have a go, and he said it's come flooding back real quick. The adrenaline's up, it's going, and he's loving being out there. This car, very similar to drive to what a DBS car was, or a V8 supercar back in the day. A lot of torque in that engine. He loves the torque in it, and it's doing really well, as you can see.
30 minutes now before our V8 supercar qualifying session, the first of 2 today. Stick around for that today on our Fox Sports coverage as Walter stretches the legs of the VY Commodore. It's a car that Matty Burns races regularly down here, and it's been prepared by a guy called Dean Lilly, who raced in V8 Utes years ago, former FPR mechanic, and that car will be heading off to Melbourne after this round.
And there's Matthew Grayson, that Datsun 1200. What a cracker. Let's see. Matthew was in the wet practice session. He was really giving the front outright guys a real hard time. He was driving the wheels off it. And I love that little car. It's fantastic.
Fancy a steer in this one, Dave?
I'd have a go at anything, don't you worry.
I'm sure we could rig it up later on. This is the battle back in Class B. We mentioned before, they can't go any quicker than 61 seconds. They get one shot at going under that. From then on, it's a 1 minute penalty that's added on. So it's pretty harsh, but it seems to work. It's effective, these rules they've been using for a couple of seasons. And the Sports GTs will see them around Australia this year at Queensland Raceway and at Phillip Island later this season.
And for a competitor like Matthew Gracie with his Datsun 1200, to be able to race in something in front of such a big crowd, like we look outside the commentary box here, the hill is full of people. And, you know, to be able to race in such a big event and really show what these guys can do. Get out there and enjoy it, bring the family along, bring all the friends along and have a fantastic weekend.
And the vantage points around here is phenomenal. This is like really going old school racing. Doesn't matter where you sit, you can see the entire track from anywhere around this iconic Symmons Plains Raceway.
Every time I've been down to Symmons Plains, I've been here in a race car, but to be able to go down during practice and watch some of these cars down the end of the hairpin there, man, they're fast. It's hard to believe, but you don't often get the opportunity when you're competing to get around the circuit, but when you're not competing, it's great to see them. They're so quick, and the cars look great. There's a great battle going on here between the old Tirana, the four-door SLR 5000, and the Nissan GTR there. So old and new out there racing hard and doing a great job.
It's the car of Chris Temby, one of a handful of Tiranas we have here this weekend. It's been chased by Boyd in the one of thousands of GTRs we've got in this field too. A lot of these cars you'd see racing in Targa and a lot of tarmac rallies around this part of the world. Of course, being such a small population down here, they don't have the numbers that you would have on the mainland for domestic motor racing or club level racing, so we combine them in this weekend, and that's what makes up this Sports GT category.
And there's our leader, Tony Warren. He's actually caught these guys, and he's now starting to lap them. So traffic will play into this a little bit. We're only 7 laps into this race now, so 5 to go. And as you can see, the leaders are starting to come back on the traffic. But, oh, look at the car squirming under brakes. That's your R-Spec tyre. They're a very good tyre, but once you really start to overload them, once the contact patch starts to work, the cars move around a lot. You see that a lot in the Ute type category, the Aussie race cars. And, oh, he's Warren. He's got it all sideways. He's got no pressure on him. But he's still trying to push hard. He wants to go far, and he's actually got the fast lap of the race. So he's not holding back, that's for sure.
The gap, 7.9 seconds of that last lap. Reminder, V8 Supercar qualifying coming up soon, inside the next 26 minutes. See the bottom left-hand side of your screen. He just got their car pulled up, didn't he?
What if they've told him he's got a 7-second gap at the moment, 8-second gap, because he is pushing like it's about to be the world title fight for the last lap. So and look at the way the car moves around. When you're flat through that back kink, the car gets very light over the bumps, and it's a very exciting part of the racetrack.
It's Merrick Maloof, you can see in the high-tech oil-sponsored car, the GTR, that Clint Peace usually drives, our series promoter with Sports GT. And Merrick has jumped into this car this weekend. In fact, suffered a fire underneath the bonnet of this car just a couple of weeks back. It was touch and go whether he would make it to this round. And Merrick, a former Utes racer and does a lot of club-level racing up there in New South Wales, the finance broker. Been chased down there by Ben Mannion in that 1990 replica look. Nissan GTR that Richardson Skate drove.
And Warren trying to find a way through the traffic there. He's getting boxed in a little bit. The two-door Tirana now. There's a good little battle was going on with some of the older new classes as well. Les Walton was having a great battle there. But as obviously Tony Warren's come through, we've got a yellow flag. You see the green flag there somewhere as well. So we've got a car off down at the hairpin. They've gathered themselves up and got going again. So Warren is certainly the man at the moment.
I think he's safe at the moment. 8.7 seconds down the road to Sheriff. Garwood is a further 2 seconds back. Now that's a Porsche GT2 car that's racing on radial tyres.
And there's Sheriff there. He's pulled a very good gap over Garwood in the Porsche. And maybe he's just decided to cruise it in because that thing is fast. It was on pole position by a fair bit. And, you know, obviously with the limited fuel availability, he might have had to turn the wick down. But Garwood, you can see in the GT3 there pushing quite hard. He's not going to let him get away.
What is that red light flashing fuel and approaching empty on the boost entries? He slides his way out of turn 3. And that's a tricky corner too because it goes up and drops down. It can unsettle the cars, can't it?
Absolutely. As you come out of that corner, trying to get the power down, and you see that yellow flag there. Oh no, Garwood's going to pass.
Oh, rookie error. He's going to have to let him go back by. He's only a 16-year-old apprentice motor mechanic. And Sheriff be thinking, what are you doing, rookie?
What are you doing, mate? So, unfortunately, allowed to pass under yellow flag. It's a safety thing. And it was right on the borderline there, so the stewards will have a look at that one later on. But Sheriff, he just turns the wick back up again and goes around the outside of the Porsche. Garwood's in the Porsche.
Oh, he's 10 seconds, and it's the final lap, starting now for Warren. So he's got this race covered at the moment.
This is what we talked about earlier. This Nissan GTR with all that horsepower on the radial tyre, it's obviously going to hurt that tyre. Now you can see with a Porsche, nice and balanced, the rear engine car. He's pulled off a nice move there, down the inside, nice and clean. But that Nissan will still be coming at him down the back straight. Don't worry about that. Oh, there's Dad's had a spin.
Oh, and that's on the exit of the final turn. So he's found the tyre wall at pit entry. Meantime, Warren sets sail on this last half of the lap. Now he sweeps through that right-hander. This Evo 7 is laying it down here on the final lap. Garwood, Adam Garwood in second, 11 seconds away as Warren from the front row capitalised the mistake of Brad Sheriff, the GTR, but he's going to win race 1 of the High-Tech Oil Sports GTs here this weekend as part of the Tyre Power Tasmania Super Sprint at Symmons Plains. Look at the margin back. That's a lap car. Here comes your second man now of Garwood, who's further ahead. This is Sheriff in third position. So Garwood stretched away then in that final lap.
The Nissan GTR struggling a little bit on those tyres over 12 laps. Great for one, but obviously, and there's Sam Walter coming home in 4th place. Doing a great, consistent job. That car well balanced and obviously catching up towards the end.
Oh, and this is Dad Greg coming off the track, and they was never going to pull that up there, was he?
Yeah, I think that car would be hard on the ABS when he's got into the braking zone. He's managed to just have a bit of an innocent spin in the grass, but was very lucky to not have contact.
Missed the tyre wall. Very well done. I'll just need to clean the mud off that for race 2 later on this afternoon over 12 laps. So Warren got the win done. Class B went to Matty Ryan today. He finished back in 11th position, but there he is, your winner, the Evo 7 of Tony Warren, the Wells Bodyworks sponsored car from the front row, and it ended up being 11 seconds at the end of this race. We'll take a look at your results of the Sports GTs, and Tony Warren wins from Adam Garwood. Brad Sheriff in 3rd place. Sam Walter got up to 4th. Brody Marr in 5th. Alex Williams in 6th. Back to Kim Barwick. Greg Garwood, who spun his way back onto the track to finish in 8th. And Peter O'Keefe and Merrick Malouf rounding out the top 10.